Okay, we are doing a video about the Long Island Railroad schedules and some of the changes that are going to occur. I normally don't do this, but I kind of have to because the way the Long Island Railroad Ronkonkoma Branch is being treated is absolutely criminal. At the last minute, as in less than a day notice, the Long Island Railroad announces that they have to do additional track work on the Ronkonkoma Branch, and it's going to require overnight substitution for the next for right through. It says August 20 to 24th, August 20 to 24th, and August 27 to 31. So this week and next week, to accommodate track work, buses are going to replace late night trains. All right, and it starts with a 10:42 train from Penn Station. People are going to have to allow extra time for this, and it starts with the 10:32 train out of Ronkonkoma being replaced by buses between Hicksville and Ronkonkoma. So that is what is going on there. It was announced at the last minute because it has come out that the track work is running behind schedule. It's running over budget again, and it was going so well until recently. And I think Elisa Picca is behind a lot of this stuff. Again, poor communication. Elisa Picca is all part of that. So the main thing I want to get to here is when the regular schedule will start in the fall. Now, the double track project was supposed to bring the Ronkonkoma branch much better service. All right, and it was supposed to bring them half-hourly off-peak service. I understand because of the mainline third track project, they can't do that right away. I understand. I was told that, but they have not restored the 3 extra trains. There used to be 3 extra trains in each direction on the weekend that ran. They ran west from Ronkonkoma in the morning, late morning hours, or around the morning hours, and then eastbound from Penn Station to Ronkonkoma in the evening. And they have not restored those trains on the weekends. And that's all Elisa Picca is doing. All right, that's all Elisa Picca is doing. She's trying to screw people. And then the other thing, which is even more outrageous, because you can still use the excuse of, all right, they might be doing construction on the main line, maybe they can't do it because of the third track project. But the most ridiculous excuse to me is this right here. We're going to zoom in here on this because on the weekday there are 3 extra trains that start at Farmingdale. They still start at Farmingdale. Why weren't these extended to Ronkonkoma? The 9:11, the 10 o'clock, the 11:16, and a 12:16 out of Farmingdale. Why weren't they extended to Ronkonkoma? If double track's complete, why couldn't they do that? And the other thing, they haven't improved service in the after rush hours. After 8:15, the next Ronkonkoma train isn't until 9:15. And you know what? The 8:15, 9:15, and 10:15 trains are all jam-packed. They need half-hourly service. Why can't they do that after the weekday rush? Why is that still going on? Why is that still going on? Because Elisa Picca hates the main line. That's why. All right? So I'll tell you what has been changed. All right? What has improved, and they're very small improvements, really ridiculous. The cost of this project and the headaches people on the Ronkonkoma Branch have had to go through, and the fact that they're not seeing much of an improvement in their service is a freaking joke. So here's what's going on. The 6:07 train from Penn Station, which used to stop at Farmingdale, is now being extended to Ronkonkoma. All right, that's the good news. That's the one train in the morning. All right, that's being extended to Ronkonkoma. All right. In the PM, all right, we have the westbound trains that used to start at these trains that used to start at 6:25 and 7 o'clock at Farmingdale are now starting at Ronkonkoma. All right, and the good news with the extension of the train in the morning is that now this train here that goes to Greenport in the morning will now have a connection. The 7:30 out of Ronkonkoma will now have a connection from the west. So that's good. But those are the only improvements that have happened. Very few improvements. And, I understand due to, whatever track work is being taken place on the main line, due to the third track, you can't have the half-hourly service all the time. But at the very least, restore the 3 trains in the morning on the weekends and the 3 trains in the evening and fix that this gap in the in the 8:15, 9:15, 10:15 on weekdays. Why can't they do that? We haven't heard proper. The Long Island Railroad hasn't been transparent, and you have to wonder, after all the headaches they went through with the track work on the Ronkonkoma branch. And I'm going to go right here to this part here, with all the headaches that they went through on the Ronkonkoma branch. I'm going to read this to you. All right. With the completion of the mainline second track project, the Long Island Railroad is now able to offer additional service on the Ronkonkoma branch, including new reverse peak service opportunities and new connections for stations east of Ronkonkoma. Eastbound, the 607 weekday train from Penn Station has been extended to Ronkonkoma, providing a direct transfer to the 7:30 eastbound train to Greenport. Westbound, the 625 weekday train from Farmingdale to Penn Station will now originate out of Ronkonkoma at 5:57. And also, at 7 p.m., that train will also originate, the 7 p.m. weekday train from Farmingdale to Penn Station will originate at Ronkonkoma at 6:36, providing a new connection with the 6 p.m. train. I think it's 6 p.m. I can't read this stupid program. The 6:10 p.m. train from Yaphank. But those are the only changes. Those are the only improvements. A very small amount of improvements as far as I'm concerned. Much more service should have been added, and there's no excuse for this. No excuse at all. And what happens after we go through years and years of headaches when they built the third track? We're still going to have inferior service to the Babylon branch. We are still going to have inferior service to the Babylon branch. So after all that, you wonder, how much more service is the main line really going to get when this third track project is complete? Because the Ronkonkoma branch, they said we'd get half-hourly service on the Ronkonkoma branch. They said that. And now the double-track project is complete on the Ronkonkoma branch, and there is no half-hourly service. I understand they're going right to this project. I understand that, but they should at least have added it at certain times. They didn't. They didn't. And what's going to happen when we go through years and years of construction on this third-track project, which I support? What happens when we go through years and years of construction and we have to show, what do we have to show for it? Maybe a few extra trains. We're still going to deal with overcrowded. We're still going to deal with problems. You can bet on that, because the people that run the MTA never want this main line to have the kind of service that the Babylon branch gets. They don't think we even deserve it. Take a look at this. Take a look at this picture here of what Mineola will look like after the third track is complete. You notice what's missing. First of all, we don't have island platforms. They don't provide us island platforms. And look, we don't even have a full canopy. There isn't even a canopy here. Only a canopy over here. And look at the canopy. What is it made of? Plexiglass, just like Hicksville. No, we're not going to get a steel and concrete canopy like the Babylon branch has. No. So we are still going to have inferior service. We will never get treated properly. And why is there no... There should have been 2 island platforms, because it could have costed too much. That's why. So they're cheaping it out. And now, if a train needs to go on the express track, sorry, it's not going to stop at Mineola, and we're going to be screwed. But, again, 4 more years of Cuomo, Mineola will become a ghetto. It will become a ghetto because it's already starting to happen. And I'm trying to fight like hell to stop it. All right? Look at this. It doesn't look as nice as Wantaw. No. It's going to be inferior. Which, again, makes no sense, because the South Shore is a flood zone. It makes no sense. So I don't like the way this looks at all. And there should be an island platform. Should be an island platform. All right? This is not going to be good. Not having the ability to have trains in the middle track be able to stop at Mineola. No, it's not good at all. But they wanted to cheap out, just like this canopy. All right, there was a little brickwork. We get a little bit of brickwork maybe. But no. This looks cheap. Again, look at what Wantaw gets. Look at what Wantaw gets. A nice steel and concrete canopy, island platforms, nice waiting room, probably, and they get artwork. I don't see any artwork at Mineola. Get a nice sign, more brickwork. You see it's solid. It looks like it's built to last, unlike the cheap stuff they built Hicksville out of. And of course you got your white-collar professionals there, or your finance professionals in their suits, or coming out of Wall Street or going to Wall Street or whatever. These are the people that they care about. They don't care about us. These are the people they care about. And you can tell when you look at Hicksville how cheap it looks. No brickwork. Sure, it looks a lot better now that it's almost complete, but it still looks cheap. It still looks cheap compared to Wantaw. It still looks cheap. And then you got the problems with the vagrants hanging out, blasting music. I got to talk over the music, but this guy was hanging out, blasting music in Hicksville, right in front of everybody, right in front of the conductors. Nothing is done. Nothing is done about it. He's just blasting music, hanging out. He's one of the bums with a boombox, and nobody cares. You know he would have been taken care of right away in Wantaw. So I'm going to end it here, all right, because this is all stupid. All right, first of all, what you're looking at is a map of what's going to happen when the sea level rises 1.5 meters. And we are seeing a lot of glaciers melt. And there's been a lot of melting in Greenland. All right, I don't think all of Greenland's going to melt. But what happens if half of Greenland melts? That's a 20-meter sea level rise. Let's go to 20 meters, shall we? Look what happens. This could be the future in 40 years. Look at that. Most of the island is flooding. Hopefully we don't go to that. Let's just go to 10 meter. All right? The whole Babylon branch is underwater if the sea level goes up 10 meters. And that's like a quarter of Greenland melting, all right? We're seeing loads of melting, runaway climate change. But go ahead. Let's put all the investment, all the money in the Babylon branch, which will be underwater in 30 years, while the main line gets built with crap. It makes no sense whatsoever. But I'll leave it at this. Finance professionals are not smart. All right? They're not educated. They are full of themselves. They are snobby. I'm not saying all of them are, all right? But this mentality that they have, well, we don't want to invest because there's more brown people than we'd like to see. Let's be honest. That's what's going on. We're only going to invest in lily white neighborhoods. So what if it's going to flood in 30 years? So what? This is the way they think. It's stupid. And this nonsense has to stop. Once again, Andrew Cuomo supports Wall Street. He's only there to support his kind, his Wall Street people. And he'll be long gone when this shit happens and people lose millions and millions of dollars. Oh, we lost millions and millions of dollars. We invested so much in Rockville Center and Belmore. Now they're underwater. Boo-hoo. I don't think you should get bailed out because you were warned. You chose to be a racist instead of have some common sense. From the Long Island Railroad, MTA, Governor Cuomo, this nonsense, this racial stupidity has to stop. And that is going to be it for this video because this is the future. And I wouldn't be investing in any of these towns just because white people live there. Give me a freaking break. The middle of the island is where people are going to be living in the future, not down here. And sea level rise is going to happen a lot quicker than you think with runaway climate change. So people better wake up, and we got to speak up because the main line should be getting the most service. The main line should be the priority of this railroad, not the Babylon branch. That's it.